Tokyo Game Show is rolling on right now, and some very interesting information is coming out. We know that one of the major games that's going to be there is Death Stranding. 49 minutes of gameplay is going to be revealed. However, I have been very vocal in saying that 49 minutes might be a little bit too much gameplay revealed for the game. However, it seems like Hideo Kojima is on board with me in my thinking, and I want to go over exactly what he said. They're going to reveal gameplay. However, he's also noting something very interesting over on Twitter and the information he put out. Also, a huge Japanese RPG has been revealed for the PlayStation 4. Yokai Watch's latest entry is coming to the PS4. It's the first Yokai Watch title to come to Sony's platform, and keep in mind that this is a game done by Level 5. Level 5 is an awesome studio. You might know them for Ni no Kuni. So yeah, there's reason to be excited for this. And we finally gotten some details on Nioh 2. This is a game that they've been quiet on for quite a while, but we got a brand new TGS 2019 trailer, and the game itself will be dropping in early 2020. We'll talk that at the end of this video. But first up, Death Stranding is a game that everyone is talking about, and Hideo Kojima would prefer to have the gamer a little bit uncertain about the title. This is the tweet that he put out. Death Stranding is a totally new game, and I've revealed many info, so as a game creator, I'd like you to play without any info and enjoy the surprise by discovering yourself. But since many people say they don't know what the game is about, I decided to introduce the basic gameplay. So it seems like if it was up to him, he wants everyone to go into the game blind and not really knowing what the game has to entail, because that's kind of the charm and the idea and his vision to impact gamers the most. However, in this day and age, you gotta sell the gamer on something, and if they're unaware of what the game is, well, that's gonna be a little bit of a problem. To be perfectly honest, in my opinion, I think they kind of botched the rollout of Death Stranding a little bit. I feel like you should let people know what the basic gameplay is. However, at this point, we've gotten so much footage of the game, and we've gotten so many clips and trailers and whatever the case may be, we've been kind of left to our own devices to figure out what this game entails, and now you're dropping 49 minutes of footage. That seems like you going from 0 to 100 really quickly, and at that point, I think it's too much. Does anybody need to see 50 minutes of gameplay for this game? No, it's a Hideo Kojima title, so inherently, we're pretty much sold on the game. I just want a little bit, the tiniest bit of clarity on what this game is. 49 minutes is gonna offer me a lot more than the tiniest bit of clarity, but nonetheless, he also added, when talking about Death Stranding, saying, people have built walls and become accustomed to living in isolation. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Attack on Titan there, but nonetheless, Death Stranding is completely a new type of action game where the player's goal is to reconnect isolated cities and a fragmented society. All elements, including the story and gameplay, are bound together by the theme of strand, or connection. As Sam Porter bridges, you will attempt to bridge these divisions, and in doing so, create new bonds or strands with other players around the globe. Through your experience playing the game, I hope you'll come to understand the true importance of forging connections with others. Now, please enjoy the latest Death Stranding trailer. Sounds like he's going for some deep philosophical storytelling here with actually developing bonds with other people, which I think is a great theme in this day and age, given the use of social media and people being disconnected from one another. I mean, I could talk about a theme like that for hours on end, and you guys don't really care about that, but if that's what Kojima is going for to be the overarching theme and narrative for Death Stranding, I think that is a very respectable thing to do. Again, especially in this day and age, and honestly, with me reading that description, it's kind of harkening back a little bit to a game like Journey. If you guys played Journey, that game was incredibly emotional, and one of the big elements of that game was forging a bond with another player, but nonetheless, it seems like from Kojima's standpoint, he would like people to go into Death Stranding with being unaware of what the game is, without having certainty in what to expect out of the game, because that's how the game is going to be as impactful as possible. But also, if you want players to part ways with their $60, the Kojima name does a lot, and that's going to sell people inherently, and trust me, I've talked to a couple of my friends, and they're automatically sold by the game based on it being a Kojima Productions title. However, if you want to cater towards the mainstream, there's that audience that has played Metal Gear Solid, but they don't associate Hideo Kojima automatically with Metal Gear Solid. They associate Metal Gear Solid, well, with Metal Gear Solid, for it being a big budget IP. I know for a lot of us, we associate Kojima and MGS together, but there's also that casual audience that just plays MGS as another video game, and they love that game, and they're not going to be willing to just jump on board to a brand new IP just because Kojima is involved. There's a portion that will, don't get it twisted, but there's another portion that you have to give them some clarity on what this game is to actually have them part ways with their $60, and I think that's why they're putting out this gameplay. However, I'll say again, I just think 49 to 50 minutes of gameplay, that's a little bit too much for my taste. I could have done with 5 to 10 minutes of gameplay. I'm done. Give me that little bit of clarity in terms of what I'm actually going to be doing in the game, and let me move on. Let me play the game with a lot of mystery still surrounding it. I just think they're going a little bit 0 to 100 here. and it would have been a better rollout if trailer by trailer we got a little bit of clarity from the get-go, and then with TGS you put out that 5 to 10 minute gameplay demo and boom, that is it. Maybe you'll do one last cinematic trailer or whatever the case may be, but then come November 8th, everybody is going into the game knowing kind of what to expect, but at the same time having a lot of mystery attached to it, because I think that's inherently one of the factors of the game that is going to make the game more enticing and more captivating. But again, I just do think the rollout has been a little bit botched. Is that going to affect the game at all? Absolutely not. It's going to be one of the biggest game releases of the year come November 8th. Everybody's going to be talking about Death Stranding, and I would be shocked if this game wasn't critically and commercially revered as one of the top games of this generation. I am that confident in Hideo Kojima and what he's going to put out. It's just from a marketing standpoint, it has been what it has been. Alright, next up, I do want to talk about Yokai Watch 4, which has been confirmed for a PlayStation 4 release. Guys, I'm super excited about this. Yokai Watch has been one of the more popular Japanese RPG franchises over in Japan, and it's finally making a foray over here stateside. However, it has been relegated to Nintendo platforms for a long time, which is nothing wrong with that. The games work really well on there, but now Yokai Watch 4 is coming to the PlayStation 4. We don't know when, however, it will be dropping probably sometime in 2020 in Japan, and it was confirmed during the Anime Expo in July 2019. Level 5 announced the future Western release of Yokai Watch 4, but did not provide specific details such as regions and release dates. And because the game's plot refers to concepts and details that were introduced in the Shadow Side and Forever Friends films, which have not been given official English language releases, the developers expressed an interest in localizing those films as well, so all of that should come together. Now, Yokai Watch 4 was released in Japan back in June, but it was a Nintendo Switch release. Now we're going to be getting it on PlayStation 4, and as I mentioned at the top of this video, this is a game done by Level 5, harkened as one of the top JRPG studios in the world. You look at games like Ni no Kuni and some of their other outings. I know White Knight Chronicles wasn't the best game in the world, but Level 5 has a great batting average in terms of putting out great JRPGs, and Yokai Watch 4 is a game that I'm definitely excited to check out on the PlayStation 4. Famitsu gave the game a 37 out of 40 rating, which is really good, and to see another major franchise make its way over to the PlayStation 4, that is great to me, and now that means more people are going to be open to trying out Yokai Watch. Ni no Kuni has done rather well, and those that are invested into a game like Ni no Kuni, they are more so the hardcore gamers, so inherently I think a lot of people that see, oh, Level 5 is doing this game, the art style is very reminiscent to a game like Ni no Kuni, there's gonna be that crossover appeal, and hopefully that does the game wonders from a commercial standpoint. I'm not saying that this is gonna be a big blockbuster release when it comes stateside, but I am hoping that it does relatively well over here in the States, especially because it seems like JRPGs has become more of an accepted genre and more of a popular genre, all things considered. Alright, and last up, I do want to give you guys a heads up on some new information about Nioh 2. We got a brand new TGS 2019 trailer, and there was an in-depth interview with Team Ninja creative director Tom Lee. I'll leave that in the description box down below. A ton of new information came via the way of the PlayStation blog, and if you're unaware, Nioh 2 has you survive a brutal blend of Japanese myth, legend, and history, master the lethal arts of the samurai as a mysterious half-human, half-supernatural yokai warrior in a challenging action RPG sequel. Explore violence in Goku-era Japan and the deadly dark realm, both plagued with grotesque, merciless demons. Unsheath your deadly weapons and cut down all enemies in your path using a revamped combat system and the ability to transform into a full yokai to unleash devastating paranormal powers. You'll sharpen your skills, prepare for the fight of your life with revamped mechanics that build on the fan-favorite elements of Nioh, requiring your full concentration and skill. Choose your method of combat, follow the way of the samurai with traditional weapons including swords and hatchets, or fill your gauge to wield the mighty yokai abilities and destroy monstrous foes via a variety of mighty attacks. Improve your weapons with the yokai shift. Filling your gauge doesn't just give you access to powerful yokai form, but also allows you to increase the stats of various weapons and add extra buffs such as staggering foes and grappling down enemies. Help and get help from other players. Call upon the specters left behind by other Nioh 2 players to aid you in combat. Their spirits will assist you until the end of the current level or until they're defeated. Obviously, Nioh 2 is a game that saw a lot of resemblances to the Souls titles, being a very challenge-oriented action RPG experience. However, it definitely has its own elements, more focus on the story here as well, and Nioh 1 turned out to be a fantastic game, and I expect Nioh 2 to turn out to be rather good as well. This was a game that was announced all the way back at E3 of 2018, and we hadn't heard much of the game since now, but now we got a sizable info drop, and it has been confirmed that the game is dropping in early 2020, and man, And let me mention it again, early 2020 is looking absolutely nuts in terms of major game releases, and when a game like Nioh 2 kind of ranks in the middle tier of the game releases, considering Nioh 2 is a compelling release, however, it's not at the level of a Last of Us Part 2, a Final Fantasy VII Remake, or a Cyberpunk 2077. When a game of this caliber hits that second tier, I mean, that kind of says a lot to how packed early 2020 is going to be, and it's looking even more crazy than late 2019. That's a point I'm going to keep reiterating as more and more games get announced for that early 2020 period. And that's going to conclude this video. Again, as far as the new Death Stranding footage, if you want to play the game how Kojima is wanting you to play the game, maybe stay away from it. If you're already sold on the game, do you really need to check out 49 minutes of gameplay? Might be the best idea to wait until November 8th and play the game for yourself. Yokai Watch 4 is coming to the PS4, and Nioh 2 is dropping in early 2020. That's going to conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.